Hello, my name is Owen Gotimer, and I'm the community manager at TechWell. I'm joined today by Jonathan Kauffman, a senior consultant at Coveros. Welcome, Jonathan.
Thank you, Owen.
Jonathan and I are going to be discussing an Agile Manifesto principle today, and that principle reads, welcome changing requirements, even late in development. Agile processes harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. All right, Jonathan, do you want to just walk us through briefly what that principle means?
Certainly. So in traditional development methodologies, like you might think of a waterfall methodology, you might try to specify how the system should look and behave completely upfront before you actually start development. But the problem with this is that it assumes that you can completely understand a customer's needs before development starts. And Agile turns this on its head and says, well, that's not really the case. As the customer sees the features we're developing, they're going to change their mind about what is important, how the system should look, and how the system should behave. And that's why Agile is structured in a way such that change can be introduced all the time, even very late in the development cycle.
Right, so you touched on this a bit, but why is this so important to the Agile process, being able to make those changes late? Have you had experiences where you've had a client who very last minute, or even last minute in general, decided to change something major, and because of Agile, you were able to kind of adapt and make those changes?
I think I've seen that in a number of cases, but I think it's best to highlight it in a case where the customer was not Agile. I was working with a customer who was still mired in waterfall methodology, and the complaint we often had, that they often had from about the customer, was that, well, they keep changing things really late. Like, we're in a 1-month development cycle. We're going to go from feature definition all the way to delivery. And 1 week before the deadline, they want some change to how the UI behaves or something like that. And the complaint was always like, well, how could they change their mind? But that was clearly not the right mindset. The mindset should be, well, of course they changed their mind. They've seen more. They understand the system better. How can we change our development processes to adapt to that? How can we have builds run more quickly and more efficiently? How can we automate tests so we can test more quickly and in tighter cycles? So basically, how do we change instead of how do we make the customer adapt to our poor practices?